In an upscale Chicago suburban neighborhood where the homes are pristine, lived Amanda, a witch who was never unseen. Her beauty was striking, her charm like a spell, and the secrets she kept only darkness could tell. With eyes like the ocean, so deep and so blue, she promised to fix what the world did undo. If love was your goal or your wealth was in strife, Amanda would offer to mend your whole life. They came from all places, by plane and by car, seeking the witch who could heal from afar. Her mansion stood tall with a gate made of steel, but inside were horrors no mortal could feel. Amanda would greet them with a smile so warm, her words like sweet honey, a calming, soft storm. "I can give you what you seek, just say the word," she'd whisper with charm, and their hope would be stirred. They'd sit in her parlor, so elegant and grand, with chandeliers glittering and potions at hand. She'd mix up her brews in cups trimmed with gold, as they poured out their hearts, every secret they'd told. "Your love life's a mess? Your finances tight? Let me help you, my dear. I'll make it all right." She'd stir up her magic, a spell cast with grace, but deep in her eyes a dark shadowed trace. For Amanda, though lovely, was centuries old, her youth just a mask, her heart long turned cold. Each deal that she made, each wish she fulfilled, came with a price, a fate that she willed. "I'll need your consent, just a signature here," she'd say with a smile, no hint of the fear. And blinded by hope, they would sign on the line, unknowing their souls were the true price to bind. Her magic was potent, their wishes came true. They'd find love and fortune, their dreams would renew. But soon after the bliss, the joy turned to dread, as the blessings they cherished started rotting instead. That newfound romance became twisted and sour, as jealousy bloomed, devouring each hour. The wealth that they gained turned to debts unrelenting, with nightmares each night, no peace in repenting. And their health, once restored, began to decay, as sickness returned in a far worse way. They tried to escape, but it was too late, for Amanda had claimed them. Their doom was their fate. For each soul she captured, her youth was restored, her beauty renewed, as their lives were ignored. But the years passed by, and her evil did grow, as the darkness she spread began to bestow a curse on those who sought her out for gain. Their lives would unravel, descending to pain. At first it was subtle, a twist of their fate, but soon it grew darker, their deaths were her bait. The love that they found would turn into hate, as their lovers grew cold, and their hearts turned to slate. The riches they gained became chains of despair, as greed filled their souls with a festering air. Their health, once revived, would rot them inside, as sickness and madness became their dark guide. Amanda's dark magic, though helpful at first, would always end twisted, their lives fully cursed. And as the years passed, the deaths grew more grim, each one more horrific, their fates dark and dim. One man found his lover, a perfect new wife, but she turned on him quick, ending his life. She stabbed him to death with a smile on her face, as Amanda's dark laughter echoed in space. Another grew wealthy, his fortune amassed, but soon he was crushed by the weight of his past. His riches became a burden too great, and he hung from the rafters, his wealth his dark fate. And still others fell to diseases so vile, their bodies decayed in a matter of miles. Their flesh turned to rot, their bones cracked and split, as Amanda's dark power consumed every bit. But these were just a few, for her curse was widespread, as thousands fell victim, their lives filled with dread. Their souls she collected, each one fed her power, as she grew more youthful with each passing hour. The portal she built with the souls she amassed would take her away to another time at last. For Amanda, though beautiful, was rotten inside, her beauty a mask, her darkness to hide. But the victims grew wise, and their families did too, and they came for Amanda with guns and crude tools. They gathered in secret, their anger so fierce, determined to kill her, to end her dark curse. They stormed her dark mansion, intent on her death. But Amanda was waiting with bated breath, for she knew they were coming, and she had a plan to reveal her true form, to show them her span. She transferred the power from herself and her place, and revealed her true face, so vile and of appalling distaste. Her skin, once so smooth, now wrinkled and decayed, her bones twisted and broken, her hideousness now on full display. The mansion they thought was built out of stone was now made of flesh, rotting and prone. The walls bled with screams, the floors made of bone, as the victims' souls cried out, their pain fully shown. The mob was repulsed, their anger turned fear, as they watched Amanda, her laughter so clear. She opened the portal, a gateway maybe to hell, and with a final laugh, she bid them farewell. They watched in horror as she stepped through the gate, her twisted form laughing, their lives her dark fate. The portal closed behind her, leaving them stunned as they realized the horror, the evil they'd shunned. Amanda was gone, but her curse would remain, a shadow forever, a legacy of pain. In the heart of Manhattan, down a grimy street, lived Erica, the witch, with a sinister beat. Her home was a dump, just 2 rooms in size, but within its walls were secrets and lies. Her apartment was dank with a stench in the air of ancient decay, rot, and despair. She'd lived there for centuries, through plague and through war, feeding on souls, leaving bodies galore. But now times were tough, and prices were high. Inflation had hit. Even witches would sigh. The rent was a nightmare, her bills stacked like stone. Erica was struggling, all on her own. She tried selling potions, old curses, and charms, but the world had moved on. No one cared for her alms. On Facebook's marketplace, she posted her wares, but all that she got were skeptical stares. "Fucking scammer," they'd write. "You're just full of shit." Her ratings tanked fast, her patience grew thin. The reviews piled up, each one worse than before, and Erica seethed, her wrath ready to pour. "Dumbass mortals," she'd spit, her voice like a hiss. "They've no damn clue what real power is." But she needed the cash to keep her place warm, so she hatched a dark plan to weather the storm. She'd head out to bars, her eyes sharp and keen, looking for men with wallets pristine. A love potion in hand, she'd spike their cheap booze, and soon they'd be hers, unable to refuse. She'd take them home, and they'd fall for her hard, blinded by magic, completely charred. For weeks they'd be smitten like puppies in heat. But all Erica wanted was the green in their sheets. She'd drain their accounts, take all that they had, and when the spell broke, they'd go frickin' mad. Seeing her true face, old, twisted, and vile, they'd run for the hills while she laughed all the while. "Another dumb fuck," she'd cackle with glee. "Now I've got the rent and bills paid for me." But the money dried up, and her greed grew intense, so Erica delved into something more dense. In her old spellbook, with pages blood-stained, she found a recipe where darkness reigned. A face cream for beauty, eternal and pure, but the key ingredient was death to ensure. She needed dead bodies, rotten and foul, to drain their fluids, to make others howl. She'd wander at night through the alleys so dark to find the fresh dead, her twisted mark. In dumpsters and morgues she'd rummage with glee, draining corpses of juice, her new recipe. She mixed it with herbs and spells of the old, creating a cream that was worth more than gold. But Erica was sly, she knew she must hide the truth of her cream in a world full of pride. So she conjured an image, AI by her side, a beautiful face her dark deeds denied. She marketed hard, online and with flair. Women lined up, desperate for care. Erase all your wrinkles, look young, never old. They bought her vile cream as their souls were sold, but soon their skin festered, oozing with pus, their faces decayed, causing quite the fuss. Wounds full of infection, raw and obscene, the result of Erica's sinister scheme. The FDA caught wind and they started to pry, testing the cream under a forensic eye. What they found was grotesque, enough to appall, human DNA in high percentage recall. The cops came for Erica, their guns drawn and hot, but she was ready. She'd planned her dark plot. With a wicked grin, she vanished from sight, leaving her victims in a state of fright. Erica slipped through the cracks, dark as the night, to make new horrors out of sheer spite. For in the dark corners of Manhattan's cruel beat, a witch like Erica would never face defeat. She'd find other ways to conjure new pain, creating more products from corpses' remains. So beware of what you buy, what you put on your face, for Erica's curse lingers in the shadows of this place.